Hi, welcome to Frontenac Outfitters Canoe and Kayak Center. This is a stand-up paddleboard review of Level 6's 11.6 touring paddleboard. The 11.6 Tour is 31 inches wide and has a pretty deep 6.5 inch depth and is 11'6" in length. Given that extra width and a little more depth, it handles a pretty wide range of paddlers in terms of weight. So you can start at about 115 pounds and go right up to about 190, even that 200-pound range. Given that it is a touring board, it has been designed to go out and tour, so do a little bit more longer distance paddles. Wants to track very naturally, so paddle straight quite well. That being said, because it does have a lot of that depth and a little more width, it's a little slower than you would think given the design of this board. So what I can say is it does improve the stability of the board, so it's great for that beginner rider that instead of going for that more all-around planing style of stuff, that wants something that's a little bit better in terms of the efficiency and wants to hop into a touring board that tends to be a little less stable. This board, given its size, is very stable, so really catering towards that type of paddler. Looking at the features of the 11.6 touring board from Level 6, you can see you've got a pretty good sized handhold that's contoured, so really nice to get your hand in there to carry the board. You've got a vent plug here, as well as a locking pin to lock that board when it's not in use. As we move towards the nose, you'll notice that there's not a lot going on up here. Given that it is pretty razor sharp at the front, it doesn't really accommodate the lashing points for the bungees for gear storage. On that note, because of that really sharp entry point, it does want to slice through the water nice and efficiently because it doesn't have that more blunt end. It also will help the tracking of the board overall. Just looking at the board itself, very visually appealing, nice bright colors that really pop. On the inside of the board, it's your standard EPS foam core, so that high density styrofoam that's been wrapped in multiple layers of fiberglass. And then it's finished with that marine grade paint finish and then a clear coat on the outside. As we move to the tail of the 11.6 touring board, one thing that I really like about it is the fact that, unlike a lot of touring boards from other companies that we carry, that standing platform goes all the way to the tail of the board. So despite the fact that this board has been designed as a touring board, so that straight line paddling, if you do want to make it a little more playful in the water, you have to shift your weight back to the tail to get the nose out of the water to shorten that water line. With that traction pad all the way back here, you don't worry about standing on that gloss finish and slipping off the board. You'll also notice at the back here that you've got 4 plugs to accommodate a bungee, so you can lash some gear to it. The downside is you have to purchase the bungee after the fact. And then also you'll find here is you do have that lashing point for your board leash. When we look at the hull of the 11.6 touring board from Level 6, it's your basic single concaved hull. So as you're touring around and displacing the water out, it's kind of funneling it into one channel that is kind of cruising to the back and then coming out towards the tail. That single concave does give you some good stability because you have one flat surface on the water, but what it does tend to do is create a little bit of drag at the tail of the board, so it kind of slows you up a little bit. The board itself does have that single center fin. The fin is a unique shape from a lot of the other boards you'll find on the market. Quite big, nice and wide too, so it gives you a little bit more beef in the water, improves the stability, and will also further improve how well this board tracks. At the nose of the board, kind of a unique shape as well, you have a bit of that taper, almost like a V, right at the beginning of that board that would act similar to a keel would in a canoe, or sort of that shallow V hull in the kayak, to further improve how well this board tracks. So it really wants to go straight, which is nice because it means you don't have to work so hard to keep you on your line. In summary, the 11.6 touring from Level 6 is a great introductory board for that rider that wants to get into the touring category because they want to do a little bit more longer distance paddles. They want to be a little quicker, a little more efficient through the water, so they'll move away from that more rounded nose planing sup. It's a great board for a lot of different paddlers in terms of their size, because of the width and that really extra depth that you have here. So again, you're into about that 115 pounds right up to 190 pounds. If you want to give it a go, come on out to our on-water shop. We're Frontenac Outfitters Canoe and Kayak Center. We do free test paddling every day of the week. And if you want to learn a little bit more about this board itself, take a look at our website at frontenacoutfitters.ca. Otherwise, come on out and come paddle with us.